Welcome to the Anchored Mind podcast,
I'm Michael,
and I'm Kristen.
and we are on a mission to redefine care by combining counseling, nutrition, and fitness so that you can live a better life.
Mm. And today we are talking about how it is so impossible to just get real food out there, like food from the ground,
Mm.
food that hasn't been processed and manufactured and, you know, gone through so many processes to get where it is when we finally eat it, and how that impacts our health, our gut microbiome, and how our gut microbiome impacts our mental health. That whole process we're digging into today.
I would love to hear more about that.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
I'll go ahead and start this one off here because I mean, in whether it's in the room with clients or whether it's at preschool or whether it's sitting around a table with my family, it's just a constant conversation of how, you know, how convenience foods are so hard for us to get away from. I mean, they
Mm.
literally are everywhere we
They're everywhere.
go,
Mhm.
and every marketing campaign and every grocery store we go in, it is hard to actually get to the whole foods.
Yeah.
And instead, I mean, not everything is unhealthy or is a bad choice, but it's just the amount of processing and convenience that our food is now presented with is it's a crazy.
Yeah. Plus, we're already in a culture that is trained to enjoy convenience and
Hmm.
have pretty much control by the push of a button.
And these foods are here for a reason because we are living such incredibly fast lives. Everything that we do is,
Hmm.
I mean, the amount of stuff that we get done on our phones, for example, and in our laptops compared to what we used to be able to get done. I mean, everything is just faster. And so having convenience foods is really helpful. It helps us keep up that pace of life, but at what cost?
Hmm. What cost do you think?
I mean, I know that a food cannot go through manufacturing without a cost. I know that it can't be extracted, nutrients cannot be extracted and put into a bar without a cost. I know that the way food digests in its whole form, in its raw form from the earth, is just not the same
So when you say cost, you mean like nutrients are literally being extracted from these
in health
foods,
wise. Yeah.
and then it has less of a benefit to our bodies.
Right.
It even could have a detriment.
It could.
How do you? I mean, just to dive right in, how do you think that detriment sets us up to have an impact on our mental health?
Because our gut microbiome is really what supports our mental health. And if our gut is not getting the nutrients that it needs, or it's getting too much of one thing, or it's getting um, foods that are used to support, you know, the shape of a bar, or there's just a lot that goes into manufacturing and processing that can be harmful on the environment of our gut microbiome
And when you say gut microbiome, you're talking about basically the environment that is in our stomach, in our digestive
in
system,
our
right?
digestive system. Yeah. Which leads right up to our
Hmm.
neurotransmitters. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's directly connected to our brains.
Hmm.
And I mean, I know I'll share one little tidbit we like to inform our clients about is that approximately 90% of our happy chemical, serotonin, is produced in the gut.
Right.
I think most of us think, well, mental health, whenever you have any of those chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, any of that, it's all in the brain. But that's
Mhm.
not true.
Mhm. It's true. We need the support of nutrients in order to produce those neurotransmitters, and
Starts in the gut.
yeah, it does start in the gut. So, um,
Wow.
we can't avoid it, unfortunately. This is the culture that we live in now, and this is the pace of life that we are in. So like I said, these foods are here for a reason. Convenience is here for a reason, but man, I like to challenge people on how can we set up your life to allow you to enjoy whole foods more often, or take the time to prepare whole foods so that we're getting that benefit and we're balancing out your gut, to at least support your efforts in um, a healthy state of mind as well.
I think one of the scariest things, especially with maybe clients we share or ones who are just starting off seeing you for nutrition or seeing me for counseling,
Mhm.
is they don't know oftentimes the difference between what they're currently experiencing physiologically and what an ideal new normal could actually feel like.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is if someone's, let's say, experiencing an imbalanced gut, they may not think anything's wrong with their mental health. They may just assume whatever however they're feeling currently is their normal. Meanwhile, they maybe are experiencing symptoms of depression because their serotonin levels are low. And meanwhile, circumstantially, their relationships are not great. Their work situation might be a struggle, and they probably have no idea that it connects back to this imbalanced gut, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Good food, good mood.
That's it.
Um,
So where do you think, let's say for those people, those even clients who don't know that they could be experiencing a new normal, how do you even sell them on considering any type of life change?
Sometimes I challenge people with I want you to sit with a food that has been processed versus the unprocessed version. I know that it's faster and quicker and easier to have bars that are made of dried apples sitting in our pantry. But do, but is it really the same thing as eating an apple? Are your cravings the same when you eat that dried bar? Do we see our kids respond in the same way when they eat a bar? No. They don't scream for apples as they walk through
Mm.
the store, they scream for bars.
Is that
Why
the
do they do
sugar?
that? If the ingredients are exactly the same,
Mm.
what causes them to be so fixated on that bar?
Sugar?
It's all of the things. When you look at it, right? A bar a bar is a concentrated form of the natural food, and it's been processed, and our body responds to it like it's kind of an overdose of that product. I mean, we've taken the water out of it, we've taken the skin off the apple, we've used the sugars, we've dried it, we've um our like when you eat that bar, it's a totally different experience than when you eat an apple. That's satisfying and takes time to digest, and the fibers from the skin help benefit the gut microbiome. Like there's so many benefits to eating food in its raw form that are just missed when
I
we
think
do
you
it.
just hit though on one of the words you said on one of the main problems is it takes time.
It does.
So what do you tell people when they don't want to take the time? Like why should they slow down and maybe enjoy their food or be a little bit more selective?
I think one of the best things to think about is it working for you? Is your family satisfied with the food that you're eating? Do your kids eat and seem full and content? Do they seem overfixated on certain products or certain foods out there? And are you having the health and the mental health and the physical health that you desire? Does your body seem to respond to food in the way that you would want it to? Food is truly energy for our bodies. And if our body is storing nutrients in a way that we don't desire, or our metabolism seems to have changed, or we don't have the energy that we used to, these are things that should challenge like, is what I'm doing working for me? And if not, maybe I need to look closer into the food that I'm eating.
So it sounds to me like you help people identify more of the reward from
Hmm.
eating whole, unprocessed foods instead of just fixating on the cost, like time and the inconvenience and the lack of productivity.
Yeah, because obviously, if we can get quick food that has super food ingredients and we can get it to our door in the time that we need it and we didn't have to wash dishes and we didn't have to cut up the food, why wouldn't we go that route unless there was some benefit to taking the time to do it ourselves, which is not always the answer. Sometimes the convenience, I always try and present that to people. Like sometimes it's the convenience is the answer for
Yeah.
certain moments, but
And we're guilty of that, just to be transparent,
absolutely. We need it sometimes. That's what it's there for, and,
just not all the time.
yeah, yeah, and it really depends on how badly we need a change, you know? Um, when I see our kids, you know, beg for apple chip or banana chips over bananas. That, like, concerns me
Mhm.
a little bit. I want them to love the real food. I want them to like the real taste, and not the processed version. I may be a little extreme in that way,
Trained to be.
but I see the benefit of it, and I see people really flourish, and I see people's energy come back, um, and their digestive system start working properly. I mean, most of the people that come to me, I know it's TMI, but their bowel movements don't work the way that they want them to.
Their body's trying to tell them.
Yeah, there's something going on. Our digestive system is a key to, to telling us how we're really doing.
And on the flip side, that's why people who come into my room for counseling, whether it's for their relationships or life circumstances, or they're just feeling depressed or anxious, one of the first questions I ask is, "What is your diet like? What's your lifestyle like? How's your sleep?"
Mhm. Yeah, they all work together.
Oh, yeah.
So we know the benefit of it, right? We know that we know the reward of eating good food, and we do know that there's a cost of eating food that's more processed and manufactured and all that. But I guess, when it comes down to it, really, like, what is the reality of people starting to cook more, or people starting to eat more real food, or how do they create the time in their day, or how do they change the patterns and the chaos of their
Yeah.
lives?
Can you speak to that? Like, so trying to tie this together into mental health world. And
Mm.
so I think of people's emotional health and how that influences their thoughts, their perception, but also their relationships. You have talked a lot about the experience of not only selecting the food, preparing the food, enjoying the food together, this mindful eating approach.
Mhm.
Can you speak a little bit more to the experience and how it enhances the individual and the relationship?
Yeah. Um what I see and what I encourage people to do, and this is an additional benefit to eating whole foods, is that we get a chance to support our mental health. For example, like when we are ordering convenience foods, we are again leaning into the fast pace of life and usually riding along with our anxiety,
Hmm.
right? We're not
Reinforcing it.
we're reinforcing our
Yeah.
anxiety. And when we get food quickly and we eat quickly and we get to throw away the containers and there's not a process of smelling, tasting, sensing the food, um, we're yeah, we're really just reinforcing um, our mental health struggles in that way.
Mm.
And by taking a second to disconnect from our phones, have our hands in the food, to wash the food, to cut the food, to smell the food, to take a second to breathe. These are things that like impact our digestion, they impact our anxiety and depression. They allow us to take a moment to connect with our family or our kids, or to even give someone a phone call or to listen to a podcast. It it's not that whole food is just the answer. It's that whole food allows us to experience something that benefits us in all those ways, right? It sets up an
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm even taking away something for myself right now, which is even on those busy days where, let's say, I'm really back to back with sessions and admin work, and I tend to fall into that productivity trap and try and make my day as efficient as possible. And basically, mealtime ends up being something like I have to eat instead of I get to eat.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. And when I work with clients on becoming more mindful eaters in order to enjoy our food, in order for it to be more satisfying, in order to take a break from the anxious thoughts that are in our mind, like getting a chance to create an experience around food really helps.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And even our kids. I mean, our kids may not eat every vegetable that they definitely don't eat all the vegetables that we put out there.
Not even if we had cheese.
It's true. And I don't like all the vegetables that are out there. And we know they don't. But when I get to include them in cutting up the vegetables or talking about the colors of the vegetables or noticing how the red onions sting their eyes when they cut
Mhm.
them, like they are creating a relationship with
The
food.
experience of it
Yeah,
and the relationship with you, right?
they
It's
are.
bonding.
Mhm. Yeah.
They'll remember that.
Yeah. So it's not just about the nutrients, even though the nutrients are undeniably impactful. It's so many more things than just that.
That's awesome. I love that we landed in not just the content of the food, the ingredients and how much they matter, which they do, but also the experience of it and how it enhances the relationship we have with food, but also with each other.
Hmm. Yeah. So, my encouragement to those out there that are listening is to find a moment. It's not every day, it's maybe not every meal, but find a moment to create an experience with food every now and then, whether it's a Friday night or plan it into your week or plan it into your month, to change the way you interact with food.
Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully, you have some things that you took away and can apply, practice. And we would just love to hear any feedback you have. So let that be in the form of questions in the comments or joining us for any future episodes by subscribing.